driving into the first light. I just love that. There's something about escapism.
We're in deepest, darkest Worcestershire at the moment, winding our way towards the Warwickshire Avon.
Which I've never fished.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll love it.
What's David got here then? Eh?
Healthy food.
Healthy food.
Keto, onion omelette.
Keto?
Yeah. It's all because I can't trust these guys here. They will tell my wife when they get back.
One thing today, after you finish this video, I will tell you something.
Why not on the video? Is it secret?
Oh, hang on. My pot noodle's falling out. Is that the secret?
That is the secret. Don't tell anyone. Mr. Yoshi's hot noodle things.
I'm going to have him, boy.
Oh, near miss.
Oh, that was close.
You see where you can see them in the water there?
Yeah.
They go right out, and the same on the inside here.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the winter, they've all died back. It's a different ball game, isn't it? Absolutely different ball game. These two pegs are the best two pegs, I think, for what we want to do today. I'm going to pick it.
So, you were going to fish down below. Chris had put you in a nice peg down there. Now, you've secretly moved. You've not told him. What's the thinking?
I can set up quicker and catch a chub first.
So, yeah, you've come to the first peg that we come to.
Listen,
A lot of pace on the far bank.
I'm not a very good river fisherman, so I don't really know. So I'm quite prepared to just try it out because there's a weir there, and I know what happens with weirs. There's lots of oxygen, which is probably not important in the winter, but there's lots of turbulence, and there might be some little fish that can't quite cope, and there'll be chub somewhere around here picking them off. So I think it's a source of food, and it's sort of typically chubby. So I'm going to give it a go, see what happens.
Welcome to Warwickshire Avon. It's midwinter actually, it's mid-Jan, and I've come down here today to fish waggler and maggot for the chub. I'm using red maggots dosed with the old sensate powder. I'm using a waggler rig on a 15-foot Drennan Spezi float rod, and it's a 3 swan waggler, and it's a reverse waggler. They call them a truncheon waggler. It's a Dave Harrell model, and they're thicker at the top than they are at the bottom, and they're really good for dragging line through on the deck to try and slow it up a bit. The river is in perfect winter trim. It's the floods we've had recently have subsided. We've had sub-zero temperatures for quite a while. Today we've come out, it's about 2 degrees at the moment. The sun's just coming out, and I've just taken my hat off and I've taken my scarf off because with this gear on I was boiling hot. So even in winter, if there's not much wind, you can still be very comfortable. I'll probably put my hat on back on later on, but at the moment my glasses are steaming up as well. That shows the amount of heat that's been generated underneath. I've got an underlayer here, undergarment, which is really warm, and that's a really essential thing to wear in winter. No point being cold, you can't fish properly. I've even taken my gloves off as well because I just didn't need them. But I am used to being out in the weather. And as you can see, I've got my little box of floats down there, and I've got this the waggler on, and at the moment I've had a few runs through, and I'm actually now, while we're doing this intro, I'm just feeding maggots, because what we want to do is get these chub on these maggots. I've got a lovely long trot, and I'm confident of some nice chub today. The sun's coming out. I mean, it's just a beautiful sight, isn't it? Isn't this just perfect? No need to wait for summer to go out fishing, and you don't necessarily have to go to a commercial. You can go on a river. There's some brilliant river sections all around the Midlands here. We're on the Warwickshire Avon today, but I also fish the Severn, I fish the Team, I fish the Wye, and of course I fish still waters, because a few of you have seen us fishing those on places like Shadowford. But today I'm going old school. And actually this Drennan rod, I only bought it last week, and I used it down at Harvington catching some chub, and I liked it a lot. It's a 15-foot float rod, but these modern float rods, they really are something else. back in the day we were usually using 13 foot, but now I can use a 15-foot rod that feels no heavier than the old 13-foot rods. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm fishing this lovely method, wag and mag, which is a lovely way. I've got a size 14 hook on. It's a pre-tied Drennan pattern. I'm not sponsored by Drennan, but I like the hooks. It's a wide gape seed hook, or wide gape hook, size 14 to a 4-pound bottom. I've got 4/5-pound Dave Harrell reel line on the float fish. I'm terrible. I never blooming well mark my spools. I just sort of, you know, I can tell. I've been doing this a few years. I can tell they're about right. Anyway, so this is what I used the other day, actually, exactly the same setup. And the sun's coming out. I'm out with Tom and David today, and David's fishing further up. And he's going to try and catch us some chub on some of his secret baits and some of his ones, the fat boys and the sight like that. But he's got a couple of secret ones he's trying out today. And I'm literally just going to fish old school maggots. That's all I brought with me today, just red maggots.
Chub on! Oh, might be a bit stuck. Ah, oh no, got it. There's a load of old weeds down here.
Yes, look at that.
Just had first chub of the day. It was about a pound and a quarter, and I had it on this stuff. So I've got a feeder. This is what I do anyway. Blocked up the end. This is the heavy one. It's not the one I'm fishing with. But what I do is I block up the end completely like that, really solid. That'll last an hour in the water. And the purpose of it is to make sure all the bait comes out that way. And then I'll loosely pack with the interesting gubbins that's going to partially feed them out there, and then I put the hook bait, which I've already done, in the top. And I do it that way around because the flow is going that way. It'll be, the line will be pulling it that way. That the bait will drop out this way into the flow. No tangles for me. And the actual bait, a bit messy now, but that is one fat boy with a bit of sensate on, and one prototype hook bait for carp fishermen. It's even more loaded with goodies. So I'm just doing a bit of prototype testing, and it seems to be working.
perfect, isn't it? Look at the fins on that. Look at the colours. There's just a light reflecting off that. That's beautiful, isn't it? That fish is just lovely. Fantastic.
David, and you caught my fish. What are you doing with my fish? Hey, you can play it. What sort of bite was it?
It was very positive. It's very visual, to be honest here.
Ooh, I don't pull too hard because it's only 6 pound line.
Angry chucking one.
Ooh.
Oh, it's bigger than a whole lot. It's bigger than yours.
It's still my fish. I'll come round to the other side.
That's like 3 pounds. Yes!
Booga!
Look at that!
Are you happy?
Yeah, are you happy? It's your fish, really.
Yeah, well, you know, you happy being a poacher?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, you have to pay 10 quid a day to fish here, and I just caught a fish.
oh, well, that's really good.
David, how does it feel to be posing with my fish?
Cold. It's ice cold on my fingers. That's how it feels.
Gorgeous chub though, that
You
is.
know it's not your fish anyway. You poached. You just happened to be next to my rod when I was explaining why I was going to catch a chub at any second.
Lovely, well.
So,
we'll
what do you
slip
think?
him back and then you can talk us through how you caught it.
In you go. Oh, lovely fish. Oh well, I was just explaining about where that tree goes in there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Where that tree goes in there, that I reckon is the edge of the start of the eddy where food will drop off. And that's where the chub will be. And I was beginning to doubt it. I'd had one from there, but it's been very quiet. This water's really cold. And then I was filming it and you grabbed hold of my rod and stole that fish off me. So I'm claiming it anyway. But another interesting thing is, I caught it on this stuff, commonly known as luncheon meat, but it's not normal luncheon meat. This stuff is something we're working on and developing, and it's very, very tough. So what I did is I just cut a slice off with my finger, like that. And I've got a quick stop on here, so I just put it on. But the thing about this, I'll see if I can find where the hook is. I'll demonstrate if I can. I can find my hook. I'll put it on a quick stop, but I'll just demonstrate to you. This stuff is so tough. This stuff is luncheon meat. It is bona fide luncheon meat. Smells like luncheon meat. Behaves like luncheon meat. Fish love it. The difference is it's really tough. Now I'll put this on a quick stop, but I'll just demonstrate to you how. I mean, look at that. You could actually fish with that easy. It's like, you know, it ain't gonna come off. It's you'd have to feel it to try it. But oh my God, the possibilities with this. But what I've been doing is just using it on a quick stop. Hang on, I'll just put it in there. Push it through. And that is absolutely firm as anything. That is not going to come off. And that's what I caught that chub on. But before you stop, just reach forward, Tom, and just hold that and just tell me what you think of the feel of it.
Now, I've told you about this. I'm not grabbing your meat on camera. Not again. The last time this happened, I got in trouble.
Well, the truth is, I'm just trying to hook him.
Have a look. I'm just going to get this to focus on it first. Right, there we are. So,
That's not like normal luncheon meat, is it?
no, I'm giving that a good old tug, and that's not...
It's not.
right.
It's different, isn't it?
Very, very, very tough.
I reckon for carp anglers, because I'm a carp angler, I reckon you could put a cube of that on, like a boilie, and you have no worries about losing that overnight. That'd be like fishing luncheon meat pepperami. That'd be it.
You know what the most important thing is for me? The fish like it, because you've just caught a chub on it.
That's true.
Right. Well, we're doing all right. We're starting to get some chub now. Took a while to get them going, but I've had four in the net, I think. Lost one, and this is, if I get him in, Me number 5. 5 in the net, that's what we're planning. Yeah, another lovely bonny fish. I've had one good one, and the rest have been around this stump with one small puppy. There we go. That'll do, won't it? Waggler fishing in the winter. Oh, hang on, I know I've got a blinking hole in my net here as well. I've got to sort that out. I've got another net there, I might put on that in a minute. Well, yes, got a hole in my net. I know I've got lots of holes, but I've got one particularly awkward hole. But there we are, one nice chub. Look at the glistening in the sun there. Isn't that fabulous? Yeah, and they're all I'm on a size 14 hook. They're all literally right on the edge of the lip here. Unbelievable, really. I think they're so finicky today, really. You know, it's not, sometimes you hook chub and they're right down the throat, but today that isn't the case. And as you can see, properly sensated up. Goodness me. Red maggots all the way today. Haven't brought anything else with me. I'm fishing 2 and 3 maggots on a size 14 Drennan wide gate. I've got it's a pre-tied hook, actually. It's a pre-tied out the packet job. 4 pound line. The rod is a 15-foot Drennan. Well, they call it the specimen float, actually. And I've not long had it, but already it's earning its keep. And yes, I bought it. I didn't get given it, folks, just in case you're thinking, oh, he gets all his tackle free. Well, he doesn't these days, because Bonzi these days is a freelance guy. I've been left coring a while now, so I'm free to choose whatever gear I want. Got a Preston centrist reel on, which is the 420 size, and I've got approximately 4 or 5 pound Dave Harrell floatfish on the reel, which I found very good, actually. Very good stuff. Back in the day, we all used to use 2 and 3 pound Maxima or Bay of Pearl on, but these days we seem to have gone over to these more modern lines that seem to float very well. And I know I'm dragging. I've just brought back a little bit of muck there. I just dragged under then, and they don't want it. They don't want it running through off bottom. They seem to want it dragged down the depth. One of the chub today is was maggots down the throat. A good collection of them. So they are eating them, but we're just picking up odd fish at the moment, which is fine. It's a winter's day. The fish are having a little peck at it, and we're catching the odd fish. And what could be better? The sun's out. I put my peak cap back on now because it's quite bright, and the sun's dropping round as it goes down a bit. And I'm guessing we're about midday-ish, perhaps. I haven't had a look at my clock, my watch or anything. I don't have a watch. Never have done. But the float's going down lovely. And every now and again it dips under and we get another fish. Now we're just getting a little bit of an upstream wind now, so that's not unpleasant. That's ideal. That would be good if we were fishing the bollo. We could hold it back a little bit. But at the moment we're fishing the waggler, which is still a great way of catching chub. And let's see if we can catch another. So you might have noticed I've got this 15-foot rod and I'm using it like a single-handed rod. got an open, yeah, normal fixed ball reel, and I'm just holding the line there, the maggot just in my hand there, just above it, and then literally I'll just flick the whole lot out over the top and break it just before it hits the water, lift it up, pick the maggots up, wang a few in there, quickly get them out there, then mend the line, and then the float is looking in good shape there, right sort of area for a bite. So yeah, that overhead cast, if you've got a lot of trees above you, then obviously it's not so easy, and particularly with a 15-foot rod. But we have got a peg here today where we've got no interference from trees above. But this cast, this is what I call the Kenny Giles cast. Kenny is a legendary match angler from the Midlands. He used to fish with Clive Smith. Doesn't do so many matches now, but when I first watched him down on the Bristol Avon, this is how he cast, and he literally one-handed and out he went. Very neatly done, and particularly easy if you've got a 13-foot rod. But with these modern rods, well, amazing really, isn't it? A 15-foot rod you can fish single-handed, you know, which is just goes to show how the development of the tackle has come on really. They're so light now. And swims like this, I think I could have quite comfortably fished this with a 13-foot rod today. But I've not long had this rod. I've only had this a week or two, and so I'm trying to put some miles on it and catch a few fish. I went to Harvington last week and was catching chub down there on it, down there with Kelvin Tallett. And today we've gone a bit further up the river on a little bit of fish, and yeah, we're catching a few chub. Chub are great species when it's cold. I haven't had anything other than a chub today. It's like biggish ones and a couple of one small one, but basically I've had no roach, I've had no dace, I've had no perch, no gudgeon, nothing else, just pure chub. And that just goes to show in these cold conditions where the water temperatures are right down. We've had frost most nights for quite a while now, and the air temperature hasn't got above about 2 or 3 degrees during the day for some while. And today, although the sun's out, it is quite chilly, but I'm kind of used to the cold, so it's not bothering me. In fact, I was having problems with my glasses steaming up earlier. Such was the difference of sweat coming off my head, I suppose. I've just put my cap back on because it's quite bright and the sun's just dipping round, so it's quite awkward to see. So it's a case really at the moment of just casting regularly, fishing it out, feeding regularly, and every now and again the float dips and you get another chub. They're certainly not lined up, but you're picking up odd fish, and if you do that through the day, you end up with 10 chub, you've had a pretty decent day. And that float is running down lovely at the moment. It's dragging line on the bottom. I've got number 8 Stotts dragging. Spread like a stick float really. And I'm well over depth, but the bottom is quite clean. It's quite gravelly. There is the odd bit of detritus, and in the summer there's a lot more weed here, but this time of year the weeds died back, and we can get a reasonably good run through. Now this same swim would definitely be decent on the bollow, particularly in these conditions with the wind starting to blow upstream. In fact, it's picking up a bit, to be fair, and but it's also good for running the waggler down like this, so we'll stick with the waggler for a bit, give him a few more maggots. And I'm sure it won't be long before we see another chub. is with winter fishing, you just got to keep plodding away. It's not like the summer when you can get bite of chuck. This time of year, if we're catching chub here certainly run to £5–6, some of them. The average is probably £2 perhaps. But if we could catch 10 or 15 chub, well, we've had a brilliant day, haven't we? So at the moment, I think I've got 5 in the net. So we're on our way. And I'm sure there'll be some more coming along any time. That feels like a chub. No, that's a bit. Is it fish or is it weed? Oh, I'm not quite sure. I think I've got a stick fish. I think I've got Mr. Weedfish. Yeah, I have. Because I'm dragging hard along the bottom. And there you go. A stick. Thought for a moment we had a chub, but no way. No worries, not a problem.
I've moved pegs because I thought it was going a bit slow. I caught 2 fish from the drop-off part of an eddy, and I like that, but I had this feeling that they're all holed up somewhere, or several places, and so I had my eye on this spot here, which is overhanging trees with a good flow underneath, and it just looks absolutely perfect for barbel and chub.
This is the secret stuff, right? Don't tell everyone. Don't tell all your mates, because they'll all be using it and catching loads of fish. The sensate powder, the red. You can see my hands. I'm red, aren't I? I'm Johnny Red. Look at that. And that's because I was using it earlier when I was catching those chub. So we've got some maggots here. These are just ordinary red maggots, right? And they've just had a bit of maize on them. And as you can see here, if I get a few maggots here and drop them into my little thing, you see it's just maggots going down. There you see, there's nothing coming off them. And they're driven down nicely. And they'll catch fish. But it's definitely an edge to pop a bit of this sensate powder on. Now there's 2 different, well, various different colours, but this is the red one. We've got red maggots, and what it does, it makes these red maggots even redder, and it coats them in the powder. And I think that powder too, I think it degreases them as well, so it makes them sink better. But it just gives them that little coating, and if what I'll do now, I'll just tip some on. Right, there we go. And you can smell it. You can smell that garlicky tones of it. I don't even know what's in it. That's David's secret, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give this a little cut. I can really smell that. That's really strong, that is. And the fish certainly like it. Everywhere I've been, whatever species I've been fishing for, they all seem to eat the maggots with the sensate on, so they're absolutely not put off with it. And now that really smells that, and that's degreased those maggots. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to drop some in here. And can you see how red they are? And you can see that in the water column there's that, you can see it in there, there's a column of sensate going down with those maggots. They look amazing. See the difference? Look at that. Oof. So much attraction, so much sense, so much smell. Oh, look at it coming off now there now. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my, oh, flipping heck. Oh my days. Look at that. Frightening, isn't it? Look at that attraction. Look, it's totally changed the watercolour now. Look, see it going down there? Look, we've left it a little while, but now the maggots are on the bottom. And look, the sensate's still starting to rise up. In fact, there's maggots starting to rise up there as well. And that's incredible, actually, because there you go, just a few more maggots. Look at that. And see how the sensate powder and stuff is just sinking down there nicely. Beautiful. Beautiful. That looks amazing. So much attraction. You can imagine, even on a river, that's all flowing down through the peg. On the lakes, when you're fishing there with your poles, you can imagine you feed those maggots with a pole pot with a bit of sensate on, and you're going down there, just attracting all those fish in. Terrific. And look at those maggots down there on the bottom now. How red they are. And that water, see the colour of the water? That's just staying red, isn't it? Amazing. Well, young David, I brought you down here, and you've done different tactics to me, haven't you? I went old school wag and mag, and it hasn't been easy. Caught some fish. You've brought the Fuka here today, haven't you? What have you been using today?
Prototypes. Sensate, different sorts of sensate. On maggots, on a new luncher meat that is a really tough, interesting one, and some carp pallets we're working on. So it's all been prototype.
Trying bits and pieces out.
Yeah, that's what I love doing.
So they won't have seen them here before, will they?
No.
And you caught on them. So
well, we did have a bit of a competition. Who's going to catch the first chub? And it was me.
It was you.
But then I got thraped. I think that's a real word.
Well, no, you didn't, but it's a different tactic. I mean, I expected to catch more chub than I actually did catch. The conditions have been really good. I mean, look at the river, it's in great order. Yes, it's been cold, but the fish have definitely had a bit of a feed and then thought, that'll do me. Shall we see what we've caught? See what we've got in the net?
No, I'm not interested in what you've
No,
got.
he's not interested. He isn't really interested.
No,
what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, right, David, you can go now. I'm going to put my fish back because I don't want him to get, green. Green. He's wearing green for a reason.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks, David. Lovely day, mate. And,
thanks for the invite.
No problem at all. We'll see you again soon, folks.